My name is Ford.
I'm Nick.
And I'm the only ethnically diverse person left.
Welcome to the fourth episode of Pwn. It's a little different today because unfortunately, Paul could not make it, so we've replaced him.
Hi guys.
He's our new character that we mentioned 3 months ago.
He's a character. He's not an actor, he's a character.
His real name is Pablo.
It's still Phone because his name's Pablo.
Yeah, okay. Well, he's going to be filling in for Paul for the next 5 weeks or so.
Pwn.
Today on this episode of Phone/Pwn/ whatever we decided to call it, we're going to be watching the Mission Impossible 5 trailer.
They always do a new director each time.
Yeah. Which one? What's your favorite Mission Impossible?
Mission Impossible 2.
Have you seen all of them? 3 was good.
Yeah, I like 3.
Okay, in order: 4, 1, 3, and 2.
I have to say I like 3 better than 1, but I also think 4 was the best. And I think we all agree that 2 sucks.
I
Yeah.
want 3, 4, 1, 2. Try to put somebody else in Tom Cruise's position. Who would you choose?
Ooh. Oh, I have
That's
an
a hard
idea,
one.
but I don't know, because it's kind of obvious.
Steve
Let's-
Carell.
I've aged a few years.
Leonardo DiCaprio and Chris Pratt. Because Chris Pratt is in everything now. He's like the next Benedict Cumberbatch. Let's see how many movies I can be in. Jurassic Park, Lego Movie. The other
Imagine
one.
putting their faces together.
I'm gonna go home Photoshop that. That's right above our heads right now. Look at it. It's terrifying. Oh my god.
No, stop squashing me.
It's getting closer. So yes, your ideal Mission Impossible, what would it be? Here's the requirements for Mission Impossible. Okay, you gotta have Tom Cruise. It can't be anyone else. So there's a villain. You have to pick a villain. It could be anyone. You have to pick a girl. It could be anyone. And you have to pick some insane, impossible mission.
What? A girl? This isn't
person?
James Bond. Pablo, go first.
The Crystal Skull who had a body. The girl would be...
Don't bring up the Crystal Skull.
Okay, bad guy. Crystal Skull that had a body with Kate Upton. How badass would that be?
Kate Upton.
So the Crystal Skull man, he says, oh, nobody ain't gonna touch me. Everybody wants him, right? So here's Mission Impossible comes in. The mission is this Tom Cruise guy jumps into a car, explodes, he flies in the air, jumps in water, onto a trampoline, he bounces off into an office. The office, he has to crack the code. After he cracks the code, he has to run out, set a bomb, explode it in 15 seconds, then defuse another bomb in 5 seconds, and then jumps out of the roof onto a trampoline into Kate Upton's arms, and then censored. He puts a chip into Kate Upton's brain. Yeah, she becomes his slave, and he gets every single information in her head. After he gets the information in her head, he has to find out where it's located. He finds the address in her memories. Okay, and once he finds the address for the place, he goes to the Crystal Skull. He's like, "What's up?" And then after he finds the Crystal Skull, he goes whack, 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 bang, bang.
Whack, 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 whack.
Waka waka.
Mission
Pac-Man.
Impossible right there.
So, the villain is Kim Jong-un,
Oh.
played by George Takei, right? The woman is Meryl Streep, who plays Sarah Palin. So this is the plot. So Sony buys Mission Impossible rights from Paramount, right? So then, but then the whole hacking scandal goes out, right? And Ethan Hunt is tasked to hunt down the hackers. He goes to China, right? And he interviews the people, and he's like, are these the hackers? And he's like, no. So now he needs to know, how am I going to get to North Korea? Because that is #1 suspect, right? Like a normal person, his first answer to everything is, ask Sarah Palin. So he goes to Alaska. So then Sarah Palin agrees to come with Tom Cruise. So then they go to North Korea, and then when they get there, and the North Korean Border Patrol is like, you could have just bribed the Chinese and gotten a plane ride here, and they were like, so then Sarah Palin and her gun control advocacy, she shot them, you know. So then they go to Kim Jong-un, but then they find Kim Jong-un is dead and his body has been taken over by the Mekon. Tom Cruise is like, vile Mekon, if you think that the Hun, the people of the Bionis, will give up without a fight, then you are sorely mistaken.
My villain is a made-up terrorist organization called,
Sissy.
It's called, the Evil Group of, Maniacal, Anarchist, Nazis, or Eggman for short. The girl is, of course, Beyonce, played by Taylor Swift. So it starts out in Vatican City, right. And so the Pope is walking along, right? And so the Pope goes into his bedroom, and there, standing there, is the Ego Man Prime Minister or something, okay? And you know who he is? That's right, he's Putin. And so Putin's all like, why you be doing these things? Because the Vatican City has been stealing all the Christian people from Russia. And so he's like, I want my Russia people back. The Pope's like, no, you can't have them back. And so Vladimir Putin is like, well, very well then. And so these helicopters come in, and they just like grappling hook the entirety of the Holy See and just rip it out of the ground. And they take it all the way over to some desert place. And so they have the entirety of the Pope in Vatican City in the middle of a desert. The IMF hears about this, and they're like, whoa, we can't have that be happening. And so they send Ethan Hunt to the desert to go and find it. And so once he gets there, he defeats all the bad guys, but then he realizes, how are we gonna get this home? So then out of nowhere, Beyonce comes along, and she's all like, all the single ladies, right? And so all of the single ladies in the world come, and they pick up the Vatican City and they carry it back to Europe. And Obama is like, thank you, children. Why do? Thank you for saving this beautiful place. But then he takes off his face mask, and he turns out to be Putin. And Putin's like, ha ha ha, I foiled your plan. And he's like, no, we foiled yours. And he's like, no, I foiled yours. And he's like, listen here, you little squirts. I knew that you'd do this the whole time. So I stole the entirety of Europe and also put it in the desert. So you didn't. You just put the Vatican City back into Europe, which is also in the middle of a desert. And then, so...
Pretty big desert.
Because it's Hollywood, it gets split into 2 movies. So, part 2 is about how Beyonce goes back to America, and she's all like, all the single ladies, and then all the single ladies come, and then they lift up the entirety of Europe, and they start to take it back. And then, out of nowhere, George Bush comes along, and he's like, you see, my American people, please, let me have this back. And then he takes Europe and attaches it to America and renames it Freedomia. The end. Thank you very much for watching that strange episode of Pwn. Please like and comment and subscribe.
Hit that thumbs up button.
Here's our favorite comment from last episode.
Go ahead, and we'll be back next week.